Hello everyone, welcome to the new chapter. We are going to learn Chinese philosophy and religion. In this section, we will begin to talk about Chinese philosophy. Are you familiar with it? What is the first thing that comes to your mind? Maybe 人, benevolence. Maybe 易经, the book of changes. Maybe 理学, the school of principle. Maybe 阴阳图, yin-yang symbol. Chinese philosophy is profound and extensive. Let's start from the very beginning. Chinese philosophy has a long history. It originated in the Xia, Shang, and Zhou dynasties and took shape in the Spring and Autumn period. Since then, Chinese philosophy has developed different features in different dynasties, such as orthodox philosophy in the Han Dynasty, 两汉经学, metaphysics during the Wei and Jin Dynasty, 魏晋玄学, Buddhist philosophy during the Sui and Tang Dynasties, 隋唐佛学, and so on. However, this section will only focus on the Chinese philosophy during the Pre-Qin times. Philosophy during the Pre-Qin times laid the foundation of Chinese philosophy. Many scholars and masters whom we are familiar with were born in this time, such as Confucius, Mencius, Laozi, Zhuangzi, Mozi, Han Feizi, and so on. They held different opinions and contended for the attention of rulers. Because of these masters, Chinese philosophy enjoyed thriving development and thus experienced an era of contention and flourishing of numerous schools of thought. So, what is contention and flourishing of numerous schools of thought? What's your opinion? China in the Spring and Autumn and Warring States period witnessed the development of economy, technology, productivity, and education. Under the influence of these great social changes, many schools of thought emerged, developed, and flourished from 6th century BC. Scholars of various schools held different opinions on politics, war, life attitude, ethics, and humanity. They wrote, lectured, and debated vigorously to spread their own teachings and expand their influences. They all created a lively academic environment. They all made their own contribution to the famous contention and flourishing of numerous schools of thought, which is 百家争鸣. Among all the schools, the most influential schools are Confucianism, Taoism, Moism, and legalism. Their thoughts have profound and far-reaching influence on Chinese philosophy of later ages. So let's talk about them one by one. Among all the four schools, which school do you think is the most influential one? Yes, that is Confucianism. Confucianism has greatest influence on China, culturally, spiritually, and politically. Teachings of Confucianism were worshipped by most rulers and scholars in ancient feudal society. Confucianism is represented by Confucius and Mencius. Confucius is the founder of Confucianism. He is also a famous thinker and educator. The school takes the teachings of Confucius as its core of thought and regards the words and deeds of Confucius as its highest code of behavior. His words and behaviors are recorded in the Analects of Confucius. Do you know this book? Yes, it is 论语. It is compiled by his disciples. This school advocates benevolence, justice, allegiance, and forbearance. They are 仁义忠恕. Besides, it advocates doctrine of the golden mean and values ethical relations of man, The golden mean represents way of wisdom of Confucian school. The mean here doesn't mean compromise, but a moderate and just right way when understanding and handling objective things. And it emphasizes the importance of family and societal order. For example, children must respect and be dutiful to their parents. The younger must obey the elder. The junior must follow the senior. The servants must serve the rulers. The influence of Confucianism is so predominant that the word Confucian can directly represent traditional Chinese life and culture. Besides that, Confucianism is not confined to China. Neighboring countries such as Japan, Korea, and Vietnam also embrace Confucianism in their national life and culture. Apart from Confucianism, Chinese culture is also deeply influenced by Taoism. Do you know Taoism? Taoism is Daojia. It is a school of thought founded by Lao Tzu and Zhuangzi. The school advocates the doctrine that Tao is course, the principle, the substance, and the standard of all things. People must conform to it and live in harmony with Tao. Based on the work of Dao De Jing, also named Lao Tzu, Taoism promotes the belief that a person should live a simple life, not strive for wealth, fame, or power, which will only bring one worries and troubles. With proper behavior and self-restraint, a person can achieve greater inner strength and a prolonged life. The school favors the political principle of achieving good government through non-action, 无为而治. What does 无为而治 mean? It means letting things take their own course and doing nothing. It's the basic concept of Taoism, an attitude towards the world, and a political ideology held by ancient Taoists. Okay, next important school of thought is Moism. It is based on the teachings of Mozi. This school cherishes universal love. What is universal love? Universal love states that if all the people in the world loved one another, there would be no hatred, calamities, and hostilities. In politics and ethics, Moism advocates honoring virtuous people, opposing fatalism and aggressive wars, and upholding thriftiness and simple funerals. The last one is legalism. Legalism began by Han Feizi, believes that it is necessary to lay down laws to unify thoughts of people, to promote agriculture to achieve affluence, to wage wars to gain strength and power, and to establish a system of bureaucracy. The legalist also holds that contradiction is present everywhere, that the two sides of contradiction are changeable. Okay, that's all. That is what we have learned in this section today. Now I'm leaving two questions. What is your understanding of the golden mean? Can you cite an example to illustrate it? You can think about them and have a discussion with your friends. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time.